Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, guys, happy Friday. We all know what that means. Friday, my home group, the meeting that I chair. Fantastic meeting today, guys. Another packed house. Really good reading, a little bit of humor, but you know what? A lot of people just sharing what's worked, and then a lot of people getting ideas from other people sharing what's worked for them that they're going to now apply in their life. And that is the absolute beauty of these recovery meetings, whether it's AA, NA, smart recovery, whatever. The beauty of multiple recovering addicts in the same room with all different levels of clean time, all different life experiences, different walks of life. Yet we all meet on that common level, and we have that one thing in common: is we've all suffered brutally from addiction. By the time we end up in these places, we've all suffered, right? And when we're all looking, not even looking in the right way, but we're all trying to work a program. We're trying to uplift each other. And I did one thing that makes me so proud of my group is whenever somebody's struggling, there are so many people there to rally around and offer help, a hug, a handshake, just words of encouragement, exchange numbers. I'm now to the point where I'm able to raise my hand and let people know I'm available to speak to newcomers after the meeting. I'm not available for temporary sponsor yet because I'm still early in that stage myself. I'm actually just getting to the point where I'm starting to look for a sponsor so I can start going through the steps. But I didn't want to rush anything for the first time in my life, and I've been working them in my life daily. Not to say that it's not something I want. I do want to get a sponsor and start working my steps. And so that way I can get the most I can out of this program and then someday be able to sponsor other people. But I've got to do my part before I can do anything for anybody else. Guys, I made it to my meeting 3 days in a row this week, and that felt so good. I feel so connected, so content in my life, so happy, so not at risk at the moment. And you know what I do, guys, when I'm not available to go to a meeting, because I do make a point of going my Fridays, but I do have a business to run, and I'm not available every day. We had holidays, so I had time. What I do is I make sure I talk to God, and that's the thing, guys. When I can't, I get to my meeting, when I'm struggling, I just take a deep breath and I talk to God, and it's literally that has changed my life dramatically, and that's the title of the reading today. We'll talk about it more afterwards. It's been a long intro. Let me get into the reading, guys. Take a breath and talk to God. Sometimes when we pray, a remarkable thing happens. We find the means, ways, and energy to perform tasks beyond our own capabilities. I'm going to read that again, guys, because that's literally what changed my life and got me here. Sometimes when we pray, a remarkable thing happens. We find the ways, means, and energy to perform tasks far beyond our capabilities. Coping successfully with life's minor annoyances and frustrations is sometimes the most difficult skill we have to learn in recovery. We are faced with small inconveniences daily, from whether it's untangling knots to standing in line at the market or any of so many other things. Our days are filled with minor difficulties that we must somehow deal with. If we are not careful, we may find ourselves dealing with these difficulties by bullying our way through each problem or grinding our teeth while giving ourselves a stern lecture about how we should handle them. And guys, these are extreme examples of poor coping skills, but even if we're not this bad, we probably have room for improvement. All of us do. Each time life presents us with another little setback to our daily plans, we can simply take a breath and talk to the God of our understanding, knowing that we can drop the patience, tolerance, or whatever we need from that power. We find ourselves coping better and smiling more often. Guys, that is a fact. Affirmation is just for today. I will take a deep breath and talk to my God whenever I feel frustrated. And you know what, guys, like I said, we get it. It's not always easy, but I'm going to bring up a very point that a lot of people may not like right now, but I'm learning to have the courage of my convictions to speak on what I see, and when I see it making a difference to people, I'm going to call it out. If you're, pushing a boulder uphill like I did for so long, guys, stop. You're doing something wrong. You're imposing your self-will. You're rushing the process. You're not working the program as it's laid out. And it's funny because and again, sometimes, yes, there are going to be things that are tough and not everything's your fault. But I'm saying When you go 2-3 months and you're just battling everything and deciding this isn't good enough, so I'm going to do this instead, and then you get there and you get nothing but problems because you didn't stay here and build the foundation you needed there, stop. It's not going to work. And then you're going to start latching on to things that you wouldn't otherwise for the wrong reasons, and then those aren't going to work either. And that's what I did my whole life, guys. I am so grateful that I finally see that, because I never saw that before and I never understood why nothing worked. I would start off not being patient, not taking a breath and talking to God, putting my own spin, my own determination, my own what I needed, not surrendering. Humility and surrender are not easy until you adopt them. Once you adopt them, they become a lot easier. But guys, you got to learn to take a breath and talk to God, and then, but be honest. Not just spit at God, not yell at God, but literally have reverence and have a conversation and be honest, because you know what? It's tough. It's hard. It's going to force you to see what it is you're doing wrong if you're struggling. But that's the only way you're going to get over it, guys. We can't just, and again, I did this for so long. I'm not calling anybody out. I just see other people doing the same thing that I did for so long. And guys, I've been out there a long time. I've got the most beautiful recovery program going because I've stopped my bullshit. I've surrendered. I follow this program as it's laid out. I put recovery first. And when I don't get what it is I think I want, I accept it and say, okay, it's not meant to be right now. And I don't say, well, then I have to have this, or I have to do this, or no, that's not how it works. I get up and I do the very best with what I have, what I do have available. Not what I think I need, not what I think I deserve, not what I desire, what I have in front of me. And guys, that's called acceptance. That's called surrender. That's called willingness to accept and be accountable. And when you take that accountability and you start working within those guidelines, stop trying to get over on everything. Stop trying to think I can finagle this and make this happen, or I have to have this. Your life will be okay. And if you're already halfway down that road, sometimes you have to suck it up and start over. I've had to do it many, many times, guys. You know, it's not always easy. There's not always going to be somebody there to bail you out. And if they do, and then you just screw it up again, and then you want to bail them to bail you out again next week, eventually it's going to come crashing down, and it's just the same. All we're doing is isolating ourselves further and pushing things further away. Slow down. Take a breath and talk to God. It works. I'm living, breathing proof of that, guys. I wish it was a way I could take a synopsis of my life prior to recovery and put it on one quick video to show the totality of the changes that have manifested in my body. Like, I'm a person that people look up to, say I'm somebody respected, I'm somebody liked. I was somebody nobody wanted any part of unless I was doing some physical labor for you, because I'm really good at a lot of different physical labors. And even then, people couldn't wait to get away from me, and I don't blame any of them, guys. I couldn't wait to get away from me. I hated who I was so much that I was constantly medicating myself so I didn't have to be a part of my own life. It's a pretty bold statement right there, but it's God's honest truth. Guys, today, life is so much better. I'm not saying it's easy. It's difficult, but here's the thing, guys, and you know what, we are down, I'm down to under a week before my 1 year. I mean, I'm probably going to say that every day this week, and there's going to be a lot of hoopla around that this week. Coming Wednesday, that's going to be the video. It's going to be my 1 year reflection, and I hope everybody's okay with it, but you know what, you celebrate your milestones. But guys, I've only gotten here because I removed what I thought was right, what I thought was necessary, what I wanted, where I wanted to be, what I felt I deserved. I let it all go because I realized finally that what I did wasn't working. Nothing I did has worked for the last 30 plus years. Everything I put my spin on, my free will, and what I thought was best, what I thought I could get away with, what I thought I deserved, it ran me into the ground. It led me to the same places over and over again. Hospitals, jails, institutions, and occasionally dead. Or homeless. Like, that's terrible. And guys, like, it's not a coincidence that the minute I found surrender, the minute I found the power and followed through, the minute I became part of a group, the minute I started living by these spiritual principles and literally challenging myself to live them as much as possible, because guys, you gotta understand how terrifying it was to start making these videos for me a year ago. I looked terrible. I was embarrassed of the way I looked. I was embarrassed with the lisp that I had. I couldn't pronounce certain words. I looked ragged. I looked rough. I actually went back and looked at my first 3 videos last night, and I laughed so hard when I got to the point where I know I come off as very angry, but I'm happy. You know what? But I forget, like, I was doing my best, and I'm so proud of myself for being willing to get on camera and do that. And I had no idea what was to come of this channel. I didn't know if I'd make 2 videos and then just not do anything with it. I didn't know, guys, because my baseline at that point was to give up when things were tough. The moment somebody asked me to take a second action, oh, that's too much. It's not going to work. Nothing ever works for me. Self-fulfilling prophecy. But no, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep trying these things. I promised myself I would try till I see physical proof of it not working. And all of a sudden, guys, over the course, and again, that's the other thing, the physical progression. Guys, in 1 year, I've aged backwards about 20. Not that, again, I'm not, Mr. GQ, but if you, again, and here's the thing, guys, people want to compare, oh, my brother this, my sister that. No. The only equitable equation comparison is ever going to give you is comparing yourself to where you were, to where you are, to where you're going. Anything else will lead to disappointment, guys. Comparison is the thief of joy. So stop comparing yourself to other people. When I compare myself to what I looked like a year ago doing these videos, it is shocking to me. How do I look this much younger? How am I this much more comfortable? How am I this much stronger, physically healthier? And guys, it's beautiful because God is rewarding me for the work that I'm doing. I took that leap of faith and said, okay, as embarrassed as I am and as much as I stuttered and stammered and I was terrified, I didn't know what to say. I went in circles. My points never made up. I stopped one thing and went. I was okay with that. I didn't go back and try and edit it. I was being raw, honest, and authentic, just like I am today, because I wanted to show the progression. And I thought I skipped some videos. My friend Marlene asked me about that yesterday. So I went back and looked, and no, there's like, in the last, since January 7th, there's two dates that aren't accounted for. One, I was in surgery, and one was the first week of my videos. And I've got this beautiful timeline progression, and I get to go back and look at, but I'm sorry, I'm getting off point. I still do progress, not perfection. Guys, my point being, it took everything I had to force myself to do this. So the one thing I would not do was get on here and be hypocritical and lie. So I've just been, like, the whole point of this is this video is bigger than me. This channel is bigger than me. It is my gift to God. It is my service to God, my service to my community. So I had to be humble and honest and just authentic and just be honest so I could literally see the difference. And because I've done that, God has rewarded every leap of faith I've taken. He has lifted me up higher than I ever thought I'd be at this point, or even a year from now. But now I see what He's doing, and I see the rewards that are possible. So I get on here and I honestly and earnestly share. And as much as I'm impressed with the work He's done in me and through me, I constantly become a better person because I constantly learn more lessons every day, and then I apply them to my life. I'm noticing a big trend lately where, after I've been sharing for months now, but because, guys, I know I'm not always the friendliest looking guy. I'm, kind of stocky and shaved head, and, I come from the streets. I'm not always the friendliest looking person. But I overcome that with a friendly, outgoing personality. I learn people. I used to tell everybody, oh, I can't remember people's names. No. People come into my meeting and introduce themselves in the beginning of the meeting, and there's 60 people in that circle, and I know every one of their names. And the beauty of that is, guys, I'm the one chairing, and I'm calling on people. So when somebody just comes in and they say their name for 1 second, and I remember their name and then welcome them by name to speak, like, I see the difference it makes. Then they feel comfortable because I'm laughing and smiling and sharing along with them and letting them know that I know their pain. I've been there, right? Then they come up to me after the meeting and they ask, like, every single day this week, somebody has asked me if they could take my phone number and reach out to me. That's amazing, guys. And you know what? That's a tax, because I am busy during the day, and there's times that I cringe. Dave, I'm throwing you out there. This morning at 4:30 this morning, I got a text message on my phone, and I didn't hear the text, But my do not disturb is not on because I'm on call. And once my phone got that text, instead of waiting till my alarm going off at 6, at 4:30 this morning, all my notifications started that have been building up all night, and I get a lot of notifications from, thousands of apps and this and that and the other. So from 4:45 to 5:30, my phone was just bing, 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 and it kept waking me up and kept waking me up and kept waking me up, and I'm like, I know, and I was irritated. I picked up my phone and I tossed it in the other side of the room, and then I didn't hear my alarm, and I got up late, and I was all discombobulated. And you know what, guys? In the past, that would be my excuse for having a bad day or for relapsing. No, I get up and said, "Whoa, okay, stop." And I took a breath, and I said my prayers. I talked to God. And I get up and I took a breath and said, "Okay, well, I'm running late now. There's no emergencies. So I'm going to be late for the gym. Okay, I'm still going to go." And I said, but now there's going to be more people there and this New Year's Day. And there was. The gym was packed with New Year's resolution people that will probably only come for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and then disappear again. And I was later than normal, so I had to deal with more people. Oh, well, big deal. I get to smile and wave at some more people. Big deal. There's no confrontations. Nobody was in my way. I didn't have to wait for a machine. I did my workout and I went on with my day. Then I dealt with a customer this afternoon who's kind of a friend, is a fellow contractor I work with, known for being extremely cheap. And I've done work for him in the past and done it for next to nothing because it was his personal work. I was helping him out. Well, this is a rental property that they're making rent on. It's his mother's and they have a business. And I get over there and he wants me to put a used kitchen faucet in and then a used bathroom sink replacement. And I'm like, dude, these things don't work. And sure enough, when I put the faucet in, there was a problem with the faucet. And he wanted me to, can we try this? We can try that. I'm like, no, if that one doesn't work, leave the hot water running because there was no hot water coming out of it. So hopefully it'll work its way through and melt whatever crap is in there. Hopefully it's ice or something in there. So, but other than that, no, you're going to have to go buy a new faucet. Like, I'm not wasting my time to put one after, because, guys, I've dealt with this in the past. We tried to save faucets. You can't do it. They don't work. The thing of it is, guys, faucets come wrapped in grease, and once you wash that grease off and they sit, they go bad. The O-rings dry out. They leak. They're just problems. But you know what? I have the confidence of my life today, where in the past, I'm like, I'd been there till 8 o'clock tonight trying one faucet after the other. Well, first of all, I said, no, let that sit, leave it on. And we went to the bathroom, and again, same thing. But I double-checked, made sure this faucet was working. And then I went to the depot and got what I needed, and I put the sink in, and we got it done, and we walked out. And I was there for about 2.5 hours. Normally, I would have charged $400 for that. But being Paul, and it was cheap, and I said, Paul, you know what, for you, I'm only going to charge you $175. And sure enough, he's like, really, that much? And I'm like, Paul, that's less than half of what I charge anybody else. Oh, well, you have to get it from my mother. And I'm like, well, then, all right, I'll give you the bill. Get it to your mom. No, I'm going to give you her address, and you're going to have to send her the Cape by the mail, and she'll mail you a check. Like, he's doing everything he can to get out of paying me. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Give me the address. Text me the address. I'll send you the bill. Like, that's fine. I'm not in a hurry for my $175, but at the same time, I did the work, and it's not a favor. This is a commercial property that you charge and collect rent for. I want to be paid for my time. And I have the courage and the confidence and my conviction to do that today, guys, and it's a beautiful thing. These are the gifts of recovery. These are the gifts of working your problem. Never mind the fact that $175, I could care less about it. Well, not that I do. I earn my money. I like to save my money. But I'm not, I'm never going to notice it, whether it's there or not. I could go, give it to the next person I see begging on the street, and it wouldn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. But the point of it is, I'm going to collect it because I worked for it, and I deserved it, and I earned it, and I still gave them a hell of a good deal. Guys, the most important thing I've learned to do is stop being reactionary. I've said that in every which way and form for this whole year, and it's more true now than it's ever been. It gets to be more and more true as my stakes in the situations in my life get bigger. It's a beautiful thing. And the same way I go about it is another beautiful way to look at it is I pause and I think things through. I pause and I talk to God. God, what am I doing? Is this okay? Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? And just that little moment is enough now, because my intuition has grown so strong over this year. I can feel that ick as soon as the thing's in a situation that might lead to trouble. In the past, I would know it after I got in trouble. Now I know it before I even start to go down a road, before I put the blinker on to take the turn that goes onto the road that leads to trouble. I see it coming so far away now because I live these lessons in my life. I talk to God constantly. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.